music now I wanna can I ever refuse it? Pulsating, vibrating, reggae, reggae, reggae. Very sky, rock, steady, mental, a quadrillion, a cool.
Yes, good morning to the listening viewers of the Real Stuff podcast. Today is Wednesday, and we have with us a Caribbean musical legend by the name of Grub Cooper. So we'll be talking to Grub, about his musical journey and what he does. We know that he's a drummer, singer, recording artist, musical director, composer, producer, and he's wearing all these hats. So we have to talk with him about his life journey. So, Flavius, back to you. And we have also with us too, Fofier, our special guest co-host. So, back to you, Flavius.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper, for coming and joining us today.
Yeah, no problem.
I hope you are okay.
Yeah, giving thanks,
Yes, wonderful. And I think Fofier, or Miss Carol Miller.
Carol Miller, yes.
Grab, you really know me? You don't know me.
Yeah.
And I can't see you, so I don't know if it's you. There's
Oh.
plenty of scamming going on, Grub.
Oh, no. No
Mr. Ashley
scamming.
Grub Cooper.
Right,
There's plenty of scamming going on.
right. But I also, all right, for you to know now, I always say you're a strange girl, but in a nice strange. So say it's me.
That's you.
Yeah, nobody else would say that to you. Yeah. Mhm.
You'd be surprised, Grub. You'd be surprised. Welcome to the Real Stuff podcast.
Okay,
That is
good to be here.
We are very happy to have you here.
Mhm.
Before we start off, I just want to clarify something with you. I'm seeing on somewhere on the internet where it is saying Fab Five started 1971 or something like that.
Yeah.
But my recollection is long before that. Could you clarify that for me?
Well, put it this way, 1970, towards the end of 70 was when we really hit the road as Fab Five. Because prior to that, we were resident. That's why you might have heard of it, we were at Hotel Kingston. We were at Hotel Kingston as a resident band.
Okay.
We weren't on the road, but we were known by the name Fab Five, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
From that time. But it was not the household kind of name. When you're a resident band, you don't get that great amount of mileage.
I know.
Right, they might do a one ad per week, saying, in the lounge this Wednesday and Friday, Fab Five, but it don't go beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on the road now, every little corner you turn, you're there on the public space, hearing you, seeing you, because they only hear of you when you're resident.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those hotels on the North Coast. If you have a band play at Rio, and they have a nice name. Yeah, man, Reggae Vibes band, and you hear the name, but you'll never see them except you go Rio.
Okay, yes.
Right. So the clarification is that we became a road band in 1970, meaning that we played everywhere.
Yeah, okay. No, I remember because I remember Fab Five from in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went to KC, and I think you usually come there on a weekend or a Saturday or something like that to practice.
Right. Yeah, but that when we were at KC, a lot of times that was the organization called Sing Out Jamaica.
Yeah, no, yes.
You must remember. So we used to practice at KC because Frankie had links in KC. Used to go there and yeah. That was that. So people never differentiated that much in the early days. They started associating us with Sing Out Jamaica band. But then when they got serious now and started recording and all of that now, I said, oh man, then we start to travel and we're all throughout the island,
Okay. Yeah, I was there on those Saturdays. That's where I remember so well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, can we start off by you just giving our viewers and listeners just a brief thing about Grub Cooper?
You're gonna read it, or must I tell them?
Hmm?
You're gonna read because it can be a lengthy process, you know.
No, man, go ahead,
Uh,
man. Go ahead.
I agree.
Time is not our problem.
Because as you can see by the amount of hats that I wear.
Yeah, I know. Oh boy, I tell you.
Well, suffice it to say, the early goings, you know, I had to learn to apply my trade. That was a whole learning curve. So you could say you learned on the job. That's how music is, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you are as good now as you were then, it means you would not have made any progress.
Right.
Mean you're in the wrong profession because you grew just like any other business you're in, you know. You join the police force, and after you learn your ropes now you can become sergeant or because the years of knowing the thing and the kind of achievements you would have done. Yeah, so in a nutshell, it is a matter of application because in all of this process I was never taught all of these things that I do. I just decided, look, I went and take them on. You know, them don't bigger than me. The only thing I don't really fool around with, two things. Well, I know one of them pretty all right. Classical music and jazz. Jazz is extremely difficult to do, you know. And also you have to love jazz. A lot of jazz lovers don't love pop. So there's a difference between those two, you understand? And classical people think that, oh, their music is the best, it's top of the pile and all of that. But then they can't do what a pop guy do, just like we pop guys can't do much of what the classical guys do. So all the music forms really and truly contend, you know, because sometimes you get a piece of music within pop, and it have a little fusion with little jazz in it, or you know, because of the fact that fusion is always there's always experimentation. You know, you have a little classical with the reggae, you have a little mental with the reggae, you know, everything mix up, you know. And sometimes now you do a little thing and then play a little classical with the reggae and it sound cute. You know, and that them love it in a way cute. Oh yes, they're touching down on the reggae thing, and you know. But only if, like I say, only if you have the will. And I would dare say you really have to have the talent. Because you could have all the will in the world, but you don't have that talent. And you can't really create what you don't have. You can only hone your skills, you know, ultimately. But it's your innate ability to do these things. Because you really have a cutoff point. It's like when you're the track. Everybody will never be as fast as you see in both. You do the same training, but you just can't reach that level. Or you in cricket, you wouldn't be a Brian Lara then. Even though I put in all the work and everything. It is what you have and what the Father destined for you. You know, but you have to
Yes.
put in work. You can't sit down and Father drop it in the lap. You know, you must put in the work. At one point, I never liked my voice. Neither I felt I couldn't write stuff. All those things was bad feeling until one day the people in public space kind of say, no, you know, sound too bad as a singer, you know. I do like a one song and hear people I wrote sing it and say, wait, but we're not too bad. And that was a catalyst to kind of encourage you to go forward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Grub, if I might ask you a question, based on
Yeah,
something you just said, you talk about the different styles of music, different genres of music, and having to love, you know, the particular one that you're drawn to or that your spirit resonates with. But I must say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I've really seen you go across, you know, various different genres of music with a certain amount of dexterity, which suggests to me the fact that you may not love it and perform it has not stopped you from getting a more than basic understanding of these different forms of music and how they work, how they operate, where they're grounded, and what they're supposed to be about.
I imagine that in another in another sense you would call that talent. Same thing I alluded to earlier.
Ah,
You know, but some people can do and can do. Like I can do, I write songs and I arrange, and you know, nobody taught me that. So they must have some kind of innate ability. and believe that you can do
Mm-hmm.
and work on the can do, keep on asking questions. You know, there's a famous group called Carry Folk Singers. You know, I think Carol might know something about it, right? Okay.
Yes, but you see, even the question I just asked you, Grub, was kind of from that space because I've seen you work with us, and yes, of course, Carry Folk Singers. And this is tied to another question I want to ask you, but before we get to that question, Grub, so we're in Carry Folk Singers, and Grub is working with us, and Grub says, "Okay, you see that note that you just hit? If you were doing the blues,
Right,
this would be that, and this is what this note would do."
right.
So then he says, he's a pop musician and them other things. Yeah.
And
When he
yeah,
can take a note and tell you exactly where it is located in that other joint and what is juxtaposed against and with.
right.
I mean,
It,
that don't sound to me like, I mean,
A
that sounds to
casual.
me like more than a basic understanding, as I
Yes,
said.
yes, yes.
yeah, it's more than basic, but you have to know because every genre of music has some pretty basic rules, and then you improve on that basic. That's how you get fusion, or you get to apply the rules. You do certain things. It's like a person that does cricket, and they say is an orthodox player. By the book, you make the shot a perfect. Oh, you have other ones who break the rules and achieve the same purpose,
That's
but they
right.
know the basic rules because textbook. You know,
And you have to know
Vid,
the basic rules to be able to break them,
yeah, to break them. That's correct.
ostensibly.
Yeah, Vid Richard say, yeah, man, I know the basic things. You play straight, and the book tell you this is how you do, and you achieve maximum results. But I can play across the line and get the same results or better.
There you go.
So you develop a thing. So in Carrefour now, I take them to a situation where a lot of these things they do, which is the Caribbean folk generally, and other stuff, and a little bit of classical and little stuff. And
So we're
then
doing a little bit of everything, if you remember.
exactly. And so I was able to weave the pop thing in here, the ska and the rock steady and all of that, because of my old knowledge of it, and I'm able
Yes.
to talk with some amount of authority, on the subject. Well, right now, you probably don't know, I am now, for the last year, she coming up for a year, I think. I've been a, I've been a lecturer at Ednaman College now. So I am teaching the young people them the rules of the game in terms of how to execute in a tasteful way because they have all the knowledge and playing ability, but without the expertise of a person on the road, they'll never get it the right way because what they just wanna do, they really just wanna do what them love. And in pop music, it's not what you love that go out there and work. You must be so broad-based in your thinking
Yes. And
that you can,
disciplined.
yes, you can say, let me hold off on what I love, that fancy, beautiful run, because the people out there in the public space will not understand the beautiful run. My peers who play music will, and they know how difficult it is, and that's fine. There's time and room for that. Like the lawyers having a conference, and you go there and you're out of depth. Yes, you see, and you have the prosecute and the da. So they let me know I know the prosecute. Not language I may understand. You follow my drift? Our
Yes.
doctors like a lot of abbreviations are really. So you are
Correct.
at total sixes and nines. The English professors use some big words. And so just talk it simple now. But that is for dear people talk it simple, the whole public will understand. So my thing is in pop music, do your arrangement, do your lyrics, do your melody, simple as you can. That mean the guy will cut the coconut, the guy will sell the star, the taxi driver, them can understand and sing your thing and feel nice. You get complicated, him totally lost, him not go touch your thing.
Mhm.
You know, yeah.
There's a question I'd love to ask you. So,
Mhm.
Jamaica has you down. You're a drummer, you're a singer, you're a writer, composer, arranger, and producer. You participate here, you participate there, you participate. You're always where you perhaps need and want to be at various points in life. But through all of that, there is a human being called Ashley Grub Cooper. From that space, Grub, what are some of the principles you live by?
Okay, that's the Grub Cooper. Um, I try my best. Don't work all the while because I'm human. I try my best. I probably reach 80% to be good to other people, to treat other people with respect, respect them space and everything like that. And the fact that look, all of us have exist in the world, people different from me and the other. But the calmer you go through life is the more you'll be accepted socially, you know. And you make life better for general people. You go through life like a monster. It don't help you nor nobody. Because you have to watch your head back on other people and think and people's view. They are hating me see, thinking better than anybody now. I am quite a normal everyday guy. My talent that I have, it is no greater than a talent an next man have for a particular skill set. So all of us have to contend on the planet and do it thing and appreciate everybody's little space, eh? So I am just a regular guy. You're not gonna see me up and down the street with an entourage behind me. No. I am one who just normal. You can talk to me anytime, it don't matter. You have big concert and thousands of people and I see me and think, I say, yeah man, you long want me, and no problem for me stop and say, yeah man, real thing, man, you know. But others don't necessarily do that. But that is how I operate and I find that it works. It works for me. You need to, business is kind of smallish, you know. It look big, but it's not. You have to ingratiate yourself with your peers and with people in the public space. Because if you build a bad reputation, then the public space become a nightmare because people have an opinion of you. It may not be true, you know, but the way you
Mm-hmm.
conduct yourself, people develop some kind of vibes. Like some people never knew how nice Bob Marley was. Them develop a little thing where they would say, yeah man, him Ray, and Ray. But one of the sweetest, gentle soul there was. But you wouldn't know it in the public space because you hear one side, you
Yes.
know. But when you know the man and, you know, life changing when he's no longer with us and all that, so you realize, boy, this man is different. You know how much thousands of kids used to send go school in the term, pay them school fee and thing. Why him not blow him trumpet? Him just pay, you know. And him, when you know him, just a regular brother, you know.
Yeah.
You could have
I
sit
think,
down with
Grub,
back.
that one day I look forward to the day when you receive an award for just being an absolutely decent human being.
I don't
And
know if
that
them
is
have.
from a space of somebody who says decency
Yeah.
and decent people are endangered. All right, that's an
Yeah,
endangered word, endangered
yeah,
species. Decent people
yeah,
has
and I
become an
hate that.
endangered species.
Yeah, I try to instill that in my son also. I'm pretty much learning it. He's very, what you call the word? As I was big word. He's very adorable, not really quite the right word. Amenable,
Endearing, perhaps.
endearing. Yeah, people check for him. And it's just him
Yes. But
attitude.
then
I'm
look at who his
impacted.
father is. And I'm
Yeah,
sure his mother has a lot of credit there too, because you have been a family man for as long, I think, as long as I've known you. And I've known you not as long as you've lived, but for a few years well.
yeah, a few
Always
years.
very impressed by the person that you are and the person that presented yourself. I've never forget. I think my biggest encounter with you was when I was doing some work. I still don't know how the National Culture Group for the Blind got in touch with me, but I ended up doing some stuff for them, and you met me in that space. And you
Yeah.
expressed such gratitude. It was beyond me. I was like, so what do you expect? The people come and ask for help, and I'm like, Grub was just like, oh, thank you for coming and help. And he was just always like, every time he sees me, this sense of gratitude. I felt like I was doing something special. I was like,
Yeah, it was especially
what's
don't have
going on?
many people. You know how many people like, you know. And there are too many
Yes,
times when people will tend to, they'll tend to want to not gloss over but ignore certain things. And when you die here, something will come out. What? Are the same Carol them I talk about?
yes,
Then if you never hear
yes.
no about Carol, all the virtues of Carol and things. I believe in saying what I need to say at all times. Nobody too big or too fearsome that I can't say what I want to say to them. The bottom line is everyone is just a normal human being. A rich guy don't have a different kidney from me, iron
That's
blood no
correct.
purple, you know what I mean? Because my blood can save him life too. We're just normal people. What you have is what you have. I give thanks for it and
Everybody
just you
work
do your
together.
best. You do the best of your ability. 'Cause to you much give much is due, you know. So that's how I do. And if I link up now, Carl, that's the same thing, man. We're not different, you know. Same old, same old.
Yeah. I've always been struck by your giving nature and the way you just openly show appreciation for anything you think you appreciate. And that's the question, how a man of this kind of fame, there are so many different titles behind your name now, so many different things you do, and
Hmm.
yet you can afford to be decent. You can afford to be kind, to be generous, to help people, to see yourself as the same as any other aspect of God's creation. And
That's
that
so.
I think is where, I honor your spirit. Um, the way you just give, the way you just operate like, as you say, calm and cool and in ceremony with everything and everybody. You're in the pantomime, you're here. I mean, I don't think we'd have space on this thing to list all the things that we could describe you as. You're a father, you're a husband, you're a son, I mean, all the things. And in all the areas, I think what I sense, even with conversations, is that you do your best to fulfill the role that's assigned to you there. I remember how you
Yeah.
talked about your son when he was younger, the amount of love that came through the words you would use when you're saying he's this and he's that. And so, here's but look, father not even up here, husband not
Mm.
up here. So much of you gets behind the things you do. And so
Yeah,
for me,
well,
it was really important for me to ask you that question.
no,
And
no
thank you
problem.
for answering because not very
Yeah,
many
but
people,
the
go
thing is,
into that kind of direction.
any question you pull at me, I'll answer. I'm that type of guy. Because
I
guess
know
what?
that.
Because your history, you can't change it. So, we not going to get questions and say, boy, let us not go there. So,
Hmm.
what you do is what you do. And the other thing is that, you know, when you get the reality that your talent is not of you per se, you have got the talent. You try and hold everything is from the Father and give you that. And it's all you use it, you know, to contribute to the world in a sense, Even though music tend to be dispensable, but you can't do without it. But it's dispensable from the standpoint of the kind of you have big show and you man watch $1 zillion. It never had to be so. We create that. 'Cause you can go in a park and sing the same thing, have the same impact on people. But them create
Yes.
different market forces for different things and all of that. But
If I might ask you
once
another question, Grub. You have been awarded left, right, and center for many of the things you do and all of that. And I know all the awards are important to you. I know you regard them all very highly and you very humbly received these awards. But is there one that really touched your heart, in a very different, special way to the others? Not that they're not all important, but is
I,
there one that really moved you? And which one would that have been?
I think when I got the OD from the government of Jamaica, and I said, yes, I am now etched into the history of this country because you get this award from the government, regardless who are government. And they speak on
Yes.
behalf of the people of the country. So that first one, even though it wasn't the big award, years after that, I got CD. CD did nice, but boy, I just say, yeah, man. The only other one who might have mashed me up in a way, where you struggle for so long and then the state regard you as honorable, way, way, way. Because people will be forced to regard you as honorable and to call you that, you know. That one, if that were to come forward, that would be a hell of a thing. Because all my life, and a lot of musicians, they struggle for notoriety, because they want famous, but people treat them differently when they have letters behind their name. You get a whole different um, attitude from John Public, because a lot of the thought process is that musician now, I know nothing, them not worth nothing. But when you get that recognition and them realize the kind of contribution you have made through your music to the whole fabric of the country, especially the moral fabric, you try not to go out of work and be dirty and thing and have a bad influence on the nation. Because that will never change, no matter how good you become. the badness and the idiotness you talk over time, it won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know, oh, you know I'm a preacher. No, that not change your history. Because you did do the rubbish. So the key is think carefully the route, the path you want to take. You know, and the more you think about it, money not important. It is necessary for you to live comfortable. It's not important. There are so many people who have wagga wagga and them can't enjoy it. Them health's no good. And all that, you know. Your health is really the thing. And with your health now, you can move around and help people and, you know, just be good. Just be a good
Yes.
citizen. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Another thing, Grub. Music today is not the same as music yesterday, and it shouldn't be. It should not be because, you know, we have a process called creation and we have a process called evolution that work very well together.
Yeah.
However, one common thinking is that music today is not having as positive an impact on our society in terms of moral values and ethics as in times gone by. Do you find any truth in that? And do you think that music is probably something we can help to have positive community growth in you know particular areas of our lives in present day Jamaica?
Okay. Basically, you see, you're gonna say, all right, music is whatever. I've seen people going on a particular road where them sing the
Mm-hmm.
slackness and boy. Let me try that because I might make a money from do that, you know. So they make some kind of choice there. So not really for them or not, but they make the choice. Other people try to be good. I try to be good in my execution because people who are supposed to be role models, we have a profound influence on areas of our population. Not everybody necessarily, but it is enough to make changes. All right, for example, if a lot of the songs that came out now were dealing with, look, all of us have to be good citizens. It take a village to raise a child, one and wash the other. Do all of them kind of stuff, you know. Work for your country, because that's where we live, and all the 9 yards. Over time, people will buy into it. If you enforce good enough, they will buy into it. They will reject the little slappiness and all of that. But some people like the instant gratification to really think on the basis of history, because history don't lie. And the good aspect of history will always come out on top. Sometimes you're in the world and you wonder, if your impact going to anything because of the way them treat you while they're alive. But when you die, it's like Marley. Nobody Jamaica never like Marley more than so. We who they around him did love him, So nothing strange to us. But one time admin I said, no little dirty Rasta boy name can up on the side of the plane for your Jamaica.
That's right.
Them little things, and all of a sudden now it's revealed. All right, that's how it is. History be kind, And so the fact is though, you don't have any more terrible music than back in the day. What's happened? Well, more things being recorded now, but people had more decency. The airwaves would not get a hold of certain things. You play them things then and in your house, privacy of your house, because in pop music, all styles have a content. No matter what we can't tell a man empty, but stick the thing in a proper perspective. It can be anything goes in all kind of situations and all that. You have to be diplomatic and all dramatic as goes with it. So in fact, there were many, many, many songs back in the day was underground, even from the days of Mento. People's values change. So you're a Mento person, say, well, that's not nothing, but them day it was taboo. So more and more,
There you go.
the world is getting way loose in what's acceptable. Even in America, we tend to follow them. American television, they never use certain words on TV. They would use the S word, but now it's commonplace. BS and everything, and them don't abbreviate
Yes,
it.
and even more explicit terms
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So it becomes the norm. Back in the day, you get a slip of the tongue and say that, what? and suspend you. Say, no man, you don't do that. Yeah. Values, our value system has changed. You know, is no point just saying about boy that is reality. Many things in life is reality. Because you always tend to sing about what you know. But that is a poor excuse for you to just push the envelope whenever, however you want. Because it don't work in society with that. You know, even like sports people, they influence society, the way they carry themselves and the things they do. And sometimes people say, boy, you're my role model. Them not aim to be role model, but by them conduct and people say, no man, you better
Exactly.
have a vibes. And you need more people like that to set a good template for people. Because in fact, most people in life are followers, eh? So if you can draw the followers into a different situation, and that will be good because they are followers.
Yes.
Them now
But
come
you
try.
want to lead them to a good place.
Yeah, lead to a good place. It's like what they have in the thing that the hotel them now where I think 5 of them strike already. It
Yes.
took one man to light that spark. Everybody afraid. God them afraid so then go out there. And then some people say, boy, I'm not take part, so I'm left out there carrying the bag. You have some people out there like me, and like the one guy, I'm declaring him name and him say, no, this thing I can't work. And everybody now would say to him, say, boy, you no longer want to say this. Yeah, but I'm glad you come. Yeah, but they wouldn't say it. Invite them and say, come we do this. Them afraid of them like a work. You know, you can't be afraid with the work. What truth not change. Truth will never change.
Never change. Grub, I think what these gentlemen don't know is that you and I can talk nonstop. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop so that they can get a chance to ask a question if they want, because they don't know us, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
They
man.
don't know that we can talk and
No, man,
talk and
we are
talk. So,
being educated.
gentlemen,
We are
if
being
you want to put in,
educated.
if you want a word on,
No, man, we are
please.
being educated. Wonderful.
Well, I have a simple question, though, you know. How did you get that name, Grub? Because, you know, when I hear the name Grub, I always think about food. So, just
Okay.
can you just tell us how you get that name?
Let me point you another way, Every tertiary institution, which wasn't very many of them when we were growing up, UWI, CAS, School of Agriculture, St. Joseph Teachers College, Charter Teachers College,
I go. The
Princeton
works.
School of Nursing. Everybody who are first year is a Grub. And the
Oh,
girls
yes.
are Grubs. So everybody who go first year at UA, them is called a Grub. The women are Grubesses. When I go to the School of Agriculture, I was no different and call me a Grub, but the difference is my brother hear it now, come down and them call me that. And them think it was this fascinating thing. So whenever I'm about I come out town, I'm always a call me Grub. Always. And it just come from the school thing. And then they call me get popular now it stick. You know. In other words, there are people who the Grub thing popular in school, but them losing them once them turn second year. You understand?
Because
They
they're
only
not a
are
grub
Grub
anymore.
first. No, it's not permanent. My one permanent. You know.
You're a real grub.
Yeah, I'm a real Grub. I'm the real deal. You know.
Yeah, man. So I've seen now, Grub, too, that you put out a whole lot of new music, and I've been listening to some of them and all of that, and very impressed with the music. But you did a tribute to the Mighty Diamonds.
Yeah.
So why did you do that? What do you think of the Mighty Diamonds? That's why you did the tribute.
When they died, when Tabby died, and then the other one died 1 month later or 6 weeks with Bonnie. I never
Yeah.
really thought of it. I'm gonna sit down and say, boy, I'm gonna write a tribute to them. It just occurred to me that the diamonds will go unnoticed. Maybe we do a tribute to them. It may go up and down the stairs right now, but it's there all the while. And one day gonna just become another song for them and keep them name alive. Good group. So yeah, I never plan it. Come fairly easy because them deserve that kind of mileage. See, I don't write songs for everybody that come up, and boy, I have to write something for them now. If I get inspiration, I'll do. Yeah. I don't write on situations necessarily. Like I'm like loving there. Every little social thing come up and make some song for match it. No, I don't do that. If that happens, generally that somebody would assign me to write something, for I remember back in the day when Merlin Hattie got her gold medal, Stuttgart and thing, and we brought her down to Jamaica. I'm a writer a song. She never asked me to write it necessarily, but we are planning. I said she need a song to inspire her, and that song really inspired her because we gave it to her before she went at the race, and she said, "No, want a song that really build her up, Because at the time everybody has said, "Oh, the bronze queen," and rare, but we know her, and we know say, "US was a thief, but them daylight with the drugs thing and rare." We know that, so that now really boosts her, proper. What I like I say. I'm not a wagonist like that because the situation is popular right now. I jump and try to make a tune. Like Loving Dear Maid Gilbert. At the time it was cute. But I personally would not have thought of it or done it. Because a lot of people suffered in Gilbert. I wouldn't try, No. I would make light of a person's situation like that. So you find everything going on, and I don't do that. I'm not gonna do that.
It's a beautiful thing that in a space we can accommodate the humorous and we can accommodate the serious, no?
Yeah, man. Because you need a little to lighten you up more time.
Yes.
But you don't have to be commercial to the point that every little thing you want to jump on.
No,
You can
no.
tap as being too commercial. That don't make it.
Yes.
Yeah, some
I mean, we
people.
go back to even some of the teachings of the space, Grub, things like take kin teeth, cover heart bun.
Yeah.
And we find that there is that space where, no matter what the hardship is, people can bring resilience in some kind of certain different ways. But as you say, if you're going to take it to an extreme, then that's a different story. And anything in excess, again, that's another teaching. Anything in excess, too much of a good thing, or too much of a bad thing. Either way don't work. But I just love the Jamaica we have where you can accommodate in moderation and in balance, both approaches.
Yeah, man. That's a good thing. So one of the things I don't do it this term, but next term again, I do a songwriting course at Edna Manley. So I teach them to write songs. How it works.
Yes. I like that point you just make about teaching the young people to write songs, Rob. How do you instill in them the principles that would encourage them to write songs that, from the viewpoint of society, would uplift? Or even if they're pointing out some of the negativity in society, they're doing it in a way that at the end of the day, awareness is brought and there's a plan for action somehow. How do we instill in them the kind of morals and values? How do you share, for example, who you are as a human being, that decent human being? How you share with them? I'm not sure that's something you can teach them, but how you find a way to teach them that part of you so that when they come out, they will do what is useful and what is helpful to society.
What I do to them, I make them write the songs. I explain to them, I say, write on this topic for me. And I leave the topic at that. When them come to the next class, I say, what have you written? Them write the melody and thing, and I pull it apart. So, why you make the melody go that way? What them words mean? Because sometimes they have to explain. I say, but I'm a songwriter, you shouldn't have to explain your line to me. Because me as a writer, I can understand what you say. The general man wouldn't understand what you say. You see, and that is the way that I approach it.
So you're holding them accountable. They have to explain themselves.
Yeah. Because that way then now you get a chance to look at them head.
That's right.
You give them different
topics. Give thanks for that.
And you say you have a choice. You write on that or you write on that. And that take them to a nice little place. And then get to understand, like, you point out the flaws and make them understand. So this is a flaw in it, that aspect. They're too complicated for you put out that a problem, because your message go across, brethren. Because them don't understand what you're trying to say, and all of that. In terms of playing, you have to rein them in. So, because a big role, you go and put it right there. So. You like it because you can do it. No, don't put it there. So. Put a simple thing and make it, stick and make it raw. And them a sing a phrase and them have 15 notes in it. Say, no, cut it down to 5. Because 15 now go work with people. Just because they
I'm really
can.
happy that you're in a position where you're influencing the young people, because I think over and above the music itself is the influence you're bringing now in terms of morals, values, and ethics, and
Yeah,
teaching them to think some certain ways versus some certain
yeah,
other ways that
yeah.
that might not be helpful to us as a community. I mean, they might go out and individually make a whole lot of money, but in terms of community growth, development,
Yeah.
very
The
little
thing
of
is,
that happens. So I'm really glad you're having that kind of influence and are thoughtful about how you're going to help them to be like you,
as
decent young
long as you
people,
would
decent
have
people.
done your due diligence and this is the way to do it, as opposed to the next way, then you would have done your work. But
The
Yes.
volume has
they are
gone
the
down,
ones
Grub.
who make them choices. But at least them can't say, me never know, me think it did all right. No, because I tell them, no, it's not
Okay.
all right. And then, in some other jurisdictions where you write here, and I think you get some jurisdictions you can't go on here with it. Because some of them situations on here is different. So you go a certain country and then it not get no play. So why? So them not allow them kind of talk there. So all of them things that to think about. People's country, they decide how they do what they do.
Start this to restart this section, Grub. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna ask the big question. Why the drums?
Why the drums?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, why not? Just
The drums were nicer. Singing is hard, very hard. Drums hard too, but you can get to more with a drum thing than
Okay.
with singing. So, and part of it, I never had a great voice. When I growing up, I said, no, so I sing if I can sound better.
Mhm.
That was one of the deterrents,
Okay.
But as it turned out, it's all right. Because as it is now, I conquer both of them.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
I have this question all my life, trying to figure out, can somebody be taught how to play the drums?
Yeah, nobody can be taught anything, but a couple of things. You gotta have good independence of mind. More than any other instrument. The keyboard, you have some amount of independence of mind. Left hand versus right hand. The pedal work not so dusty, not so hard. With the drums, both hands, they do different roles. They do different functions. And both feet do different functions. But the 4 elements come together to form a rhythm. That's the best way I can explain to you.
Yeah, but
So
it seems
technically, the right foot don't really know what the left foot does, and the left hand don't know what the right hand does. That's a general rule. But when you pull them together, it all makes sense. Yeah.
it seemed to me so inspirational as opposed to a formal, method.
Well, I look at this,
As opposed to other instruments,
no, everything have a formal and an informal method. Drum have an informal, bass have an informal, guitar to some extent. Saxophone and them kind of more rigid because the notes follow notes, and all of that. But what happens is that you can't, especially I play all percussions. different methods work for different people. Like I was drawing the inference about playing the proper square cut in cricket, and an next man play across the line and achieve the same result. It's the same thing.
Mm.
Because the thing is, I've never been taught to play drums, don't get me wrong. I never did a lesson in my life. So it's how you think about what is there or how you go about it. Understand?
Yeah, but you see, you're doing all of that, but it has to be in tune with the other instruments. That's
Yeah,
the
this is what
amazing part to me.
all right, what I'm saying, the drummer is who keep the tempo of a song. Him set the tempo. Him play him groove and him decide whether the thing will be reggae or whatever. Him play the groove and then everything surround what him the drummer play.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Each instrument of its own unique way it's played, but it all come together to form this good thing. You know, this nice sound.
Yeah, which is so wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So wonderful. Kofi?
Yes, I really want to, thank Grub for this opportunity. I haven't seen you in a good while, Grub. I heard you had gone to Edna Manley. I was very grateful for that. Again, your willingness to serve. Very grateful, but also grateful that you are dealing with the people who are now going to be the generations ahead of us and
Yeah.
who will, having met you, see that there are alternatives to some of the other things they're seeing out there in life.
Mm-hmm.
Having met you, they'll have another perspective to give to their children,
Yeah.
and their children will take that on, So we're putting out there, I think you being there puts out there a kind of ray of hope and a possibility for redemption in terms of shifting the balance in terms of what we have out there now as
Yeah, man.
music and as people.
And the
Because it's the
thing is
people who
that
make the music, what comes out. I mean, nobody taught you to drum, it comes from inside you. And that's true
and
for so many people who do some certain things.
yeah. And I never approach Edna Manley, Them approach me.
Of course, quite rightly
Yep.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Quite
perfect.
yeah.
rightly so.
Yeah.
It just worked the way they call when Igbo passed, they was probably searching for who could have run the two
Yeah.
orchestras
Right.
there, who popped in.
Light and progress
At
to
the
his spirit. And Igbo again was another decent human being.
right. And at that time now I had come out of Fab Five about 4 months, because I'm doing solo now. So I do my music and whatever, And so I always wanted to make an impact with Edna thing, and it just come right to that. And
Yeah.
them like how my role. I have a lot of respect for them, I teach
Yeah.
them a lot of
But
stuff.
isn't it interesting, Grub, that you who were never taught is now teaching?
Yeah, well,
Yes,
the thing
yes.
is, I work methods with how I learn stuff and pass it on.
Yes.
Try to simplify it in a sense and use different kind of aspect for tell them. Yeah, because I've never been, so I'm not regarded there as a lecturer. My title there is it is I don't remember there's a title though. It's music, it's something performer, class A, something. They invent a title.
Yes. We
Son.
pray that it gives you more latitude
Performer,
than the idea of
performer
lecture will lock you
enhancer.
into.
Performer enhancer.
No, not quite like that. I don't remember what they call it. No.
Yes. But whatever
It
it is,
yeah,
I like that
yeah.
you probably see yourself of having more space to do some of the things you would want to do
Yeah, man.
and to
Well,
bring
like that,
people to
man.
very different
I become
understandings
I
of
become an
the idea of
influence.
music.
I
Yes,
become an
Yes,
definitely.
influence.
exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it's something to the effect of music practitioner,
Yeah. Yes.
level 1 or whatever you call it. Class 1.
Yes.
Music practitioner, class 1. Or something to that. But it's cool because I'm have to invent something to get around that because I
Right.
don't know the green of them song.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's yeah, they're making it happen.
Of
Yeah.
course.
They make
Mm.
it happen.
You have been there and done that many, many times over.
Yeah,
And I
you
want
have
to tell
too many degrees, I think is the problem.
Problem. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Too
and I
many
want
degrees.
Yeah.
and I want to tell you, you know, when I have my classes, many times the guy who got me into the school him is there and the chairman of the school is there. And I teach them with the workshop and how to write radio commercials and then yeah man, so them come at the workshop. Just to
Mhm.
know me. I them don't know these things.
Of course.
Yes.
They're very
You know.
smart people.
Mm. Yeah man. So it's good because like I said, I get a lot of respect, which is very good. You know, I never know it would happen because sometimes people think them know, but then I realize them not know as much as them think them know. You understand? Them only know the highly professional, technical, but that is not what play the pop music properly.
That is the basics.
That's correct.
That is
That's
the
correct.
basics.
I teach them the right way. And so when them play now and the guys hear them say, yeah man, them guys sound good. They say, because I tell them how to set the thing now.
Of course.
Tunes and various things, so them feel good for know that. And you know, all the singers, them and yeah man.
Well, Grub,
Well, thank you for being here.
it is very obvious that we're just scratching the surface.
Yeah,
So
man.
we want to invite you to come back and speak to us again at your
Yeah, man.
convenience.
Yeah,
so we
man,
can
no problem.
so we can continue because there's a lot more we need to know.
Yeah,
And
man.
our listeners will be thrilled, you know.
Man.
Thank you very much. Not gonna keep it much longer this morning because you have been here a long time. It's a long time we've been talking.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right.
And we will be in touch.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, man.
Oh, good Grub. May good duppy walk with you.
Yes.
Yeah, man, you too.
Yeah.
And thank you, Madame Faufier.
Well, it's my pleasure.
We'll talk.
Take care now.
So bye for now from the Real Stuff Podcast.
You lead us so full of. You belong far away away. Ajugwala lebo buseru. Lida mua, lida sungfula. Lida mua, lida sungfula.
Well, unfortunately, this is it. Till next time. Bless.
All you gotta do is just speak. One word is enough, and I'm no longer so rough. I forget what I was trying to say. I no longer do what I was gonna do, but you're no good for me. That's why me do what set me I think of flee. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi take away me say. Me I fi hide like a thief in the night. Me I fi get out of sight.